Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Wallace and you're tuning in with the Griot in me. I arrived in Canada in 1974, the 19th of December. It was the heart of winter. Not a fun time to come to Canada. I was wondering what kind of desolate place is this? Because everywhere was snow. You couldn't see buildings, like everywhere was snow. So I started to cry and I told my mom, I want to go back to Jamaica. This is not for me. It wasn't a good impression until spring started. Then I started to like it because I started to see trees, people walking. But other than that, it wasn't a big impression to me, really. My first challenge was going to high school when I came. I attended Lisgar, which was a good school, but I was the only black kid you could think of that was in Lisgar at the time. So I had that fear that, being straying in a new country, I'm the only black kid. There was another black kid in the school that I have seen, or, they were all white kids. There were a lot of diplomats and stuff like that. And so every morning it was a fear, it was a challenge for me to go to school. Like I'd have to build up the courage to go to school. Sometimes I tell my mom I don't want to go to school. And she had it in mind was to move me, but then I said, no, I'll stick it out because I like the teachers, So the teachers kind of made me feel welcome. And then my second year, we had a few more black kids. So I started to feel comfortable now. And they were from my homeland, Jamaica. So I started to feel, yes, I have friends now I can talk to, which we became friends. There were like 10 of us, and we kind of stick together, do our own little thing, and then the school started getting populated. So when I left, it was mixed, black and white. But it was good. I learned a lot going to Lisgar. I learned a lot from the white kids, and some of them were interested to hear where I was from, my culture and all that, So it was fun talking about those things. But I still had that fear in me, when you're nervous because you don't know what they're gonna say to you or what they're expecting you to say. So, but I never had to face any prejudice, really. They just stick with their groups. Like everybody was in a little group, and I always said, this is strange. Like, because coming from Jamaica, we don't have that. You know what I mean? So, but I survived, graduated, and here I am. We have a lot more immigrants of different race. We have a lot more Caribbean stores open, a lot more restaurants. Like overall, we have a vast growing of different denominations in here, cultures and stuff like that, which is good. My work is fun, challenging, because I like what I do. So I covered different areas in the restaurants, and so every day it's a challenge for me because every day there's something different that I have to try and overcome. Honestly, I don't have a typical day. Like every day it's something. I work 7 days a week and every day is something else. Like each day we have a different, it's like you have a job description that you have to follow, but not really a job description. You have to do it, sort of. So every day I come in, it's different areas I have to cover, different stuff I have to do, and so it's never a dull moment. Put it that way. First, you do prep myself. I gotta wash my hands, get on my chef coat, apron, cover my hair. Then I go in the kitchen, wash my hands again, get out the pots, put what pots needed on the stove, gather the meats, put them in all the pots that need to be on. and then get the seasoning that we prep from the night before ready on the table for the chef. And after I done that, then I step into the front. I wash my hands again, step into the front, prep the desserts, put them out, see that the fridge is stacked, floors are clean properly, because they clean it at night, but in the night you don't really see too well. So when I come in the morning, I inspect again to make sure everything is clean, everything is stacked up for the day to begin. Then I go back in the kitchen, wash the hands again, help the chef, whatever he wants me to do to help him, I do, like make the rice and stuff like that, and then we just continue day on that. Funny you ask that. When I met my husband, I was happy doing nursing, and he was working at the Delta hotels at the time. So when we met, he just figured one day he wanted to stop working for other people. He wanted to do something for himself. So we left Canada for a while. We went to New York, and his mom had a restaurant there. So we kind of helped out in the restaurant and stuff. And we spent 4 years there, and then he decided he wanted to do the same thing when he got back. So I said, okay. I said, since you're going in the restaurant venture, I will go with you, as a support team for you and, help you along. So that's how we started. And then we started catering from home. And I didn't like that because my house was a mess every time I come home. My house was a mess. So I said, no, this can't work. We need to find a building. So then we went out and we found a restaurant and we started from there. Island Jerk. On Bank Street, 1800 Bank Street. From my first son, my oldest son was 9 years old, and he's now 31. Most important thing, you have to up on your game with how you prepare people food. You have to have clean surroundings. Your utensils have to be properly clean. Your tables have to be clean and sanitized. You can't just come in and just throw things all around. You can't mix things together. You have to be careful because you don't want to cross-contaminate that stuff. You don't want people to get sick with some of them. So you have to be very, very careful in the kitchen how you handle stuff. And your hands always have to be clean. No matter what you do, you got to wash your hands after each step as you go along. I'd say motivation. My husband and I, we motivate each other to come out, and it inspired me because we love to feed the people. We love to cook because it gives you a pleasure when you see people come in and they eat the food and they feel happy about it, and the reaction, just the faces when they're eating, you says, wow, I did something good today. Somebody enjoyed what I did, so it gives you a satisfaction, and it inspired me when people come in and says, I've never been to this restaurant and my first time here, and I'm impressed with you guys. I love the food. The ambiance is good. The reception is good. Everybody's friendly, stuff like that. Patience. You have to have patience. Like dealing with the public, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to try to understand where people are coming from. Because if you don't, you'll just be angry all the time and it's not worth it. Like, you just have to understand. When somebody comes to you, even though within yourself, you're knowing that what they're saying is not the right way, but you just listen and you say to them, okay, I'll try to help you or try to solve the problem in another, different way. Because sometimes people come and they say things that you're just thinking like, it's hard. You just have to have patience, put it that way. A lot of patience. Get people to work together to help build each other and, help each other up. If one person opens a store, don't go criticize and try to open one to compete against the person. Help support the person. Or open a store that can support that person. We all have Caribbean restaurant. There's nobody with like a store to supply the goods we use to cook in the restaurant. It'd be nice if we can buy our own meat in Ottawa in bulk, or buy your yam and your bananas and stuff instead of going like outside of Ottawa to get it. And just try and build ourselves as a community, build the Black community, make it strong. Like you can say, well, the Black community are always very strong, they're together, you know. Okay, advice I'd give to the next generation is to try and build the Black community, work together. You know, the youths of today, they're fighting against each other just the same way. Like, look into yourself. Why are we fighting against each other? You know, we should be building, you know, build a strong community where we can enjoy ourselves, you know, have places where we can go to enjoy ourselves and stuff like that. Teach the kids them the right path to take, you know. I would love to see that maybe the Black community is more closer, and there is, like you said, like stores that are here that we can shop, we can support one another, you know, instead of going outside, you know, like just, I don't know, like build the community, more unity. That's all you need, more unity. If we have more unity, you'll have less war. I think it's a good way of doing stuff, collecting stuff rather, so that the next generation can read about what we have done or what we're trying to do and to enhance onto it to make it better for them, and to see that not everybody is the same. You know, some people are trying to build a community, even though, you know, it's hard. You need everybody to come in and join in, but, you know, at least you'll have it written or, you know, on recorded so they can see. So while this restaurant was there trying to do stuff, that restaurant, you know, maybe we can think of other ways to bring in stuff and enhance on it.